This is a quote from the largest web magazine and largest online magazine, Huffington Post in the US. Comparing us to the patriots who set up the Boston Tea Party. This is what you're a part of. You're part of a movement that is reshaping the world. And more people see it for exactly that. We are writing ourselves into the history books. We are, because we are taking a stand against what we believe is wrong, we are taking a stand and let ourselves be counted. This was a Slashdot yesterday. More and more people are giving this movement, both seeing us as the bringers of change and pretty much the last line of defense. Do not underestimate the symbol that you're a part of. It's become very strong. When I'm giving speeches on the other side of the planet, about two-thirds of the crowd know about the Pirate Party, but they can't name any other political party in Europe. That's for tech crowds, but still it gives you sort of a signal of where we're at. This is formed in a lot of countries. This was from a speech in Vienna last year, but almost exactly to the date a year ago. Finland wasn't on that list then. And now, not all of these parties have succeeded. Some have imploded for reasons I'm going to talk about. Others have succeeded very well. In particular, there's Austria, Denmark just restarted, Germany, Netherlands are at the meetings, Peru have formal seats in the government, and Poland is hidden behind me here. Okay. What I want to say is you're joining a very large and very well-known international community. Don't forget to take advantage of that. And in that international community, we've learned a couple of things over the 2 years we've been active. So I wanted to share that experience with you here today. What we're good at and what we're not so good at, and how to avoid that. We can't win by doing just what the established parties are doing. Just not going to happen. We don't have their resources. We don't have tons and tons of staff. We don't have their connections with the establishment. You can never win by following somebody else's lead. But we have lots and lots of things they don't even know exist. We have strengths they're not even aware of. Some of them are starting to discover them. And what we're doing is things that they are starting to copy in Sweden. Our weaknesses is that we don't have a dime. I mean, we're poor as rats. We don't have any fast tracks into the establishment. Mainstream media, when they do write about us, at first it was in the humor section. Then we went into culture section, then into politics, but that's another story. The first time we actually appeared in the politics section was sort of a flag day. A lot of voters have never even heard of us. When you go out into the streets, it turns out that most people can't name the parties who are in parliament, much less the parties who are not yet in parliament. We do own the file sharing issue in Sweden. Whenever there's a big file sharing verdict or a big file sharing event, media call us. But the road there was pretty hard. We had to fight for ownage of that issue. We got it though. We own that issue now. Now we're fighting for ownage of the right to privacy and surveillance. We don't have that yet. Getting to own an issue with media is hard, but it can be done. And once you have it, it's much easier to maintain that. The narrow platform has generally been perceived as a weakness, like this one issue party, joke party stuff. It is actually a strength, but it's still a matter of overcoming a bias. So if this is a list of weaknesses, let's go optimistic and look at the strengths. We know how to communicate better, faster, and on a larger scale than any political organization in history. When we send press releases, when we react to an event that we weren't prepared about, we send press releases usually within 30 minutes. The fastest of the other parties cannot send within the first 90. And we know that because we see their press releases when they respond to the same events as we do. We're 3 times faster despite having none of the resources. We're used to having this storm hit the internet when 50,000 people gather around an issue in just a few hours. When I set up the web page with the Swedish Pirate Party, it went online at 8:30 in the night of January 1st, 2006. The first day it was online, the first whole day on January 2nd, it got 1 million hits. The next day it got 2 million hits. And the only advertising I did was I posted the address once in a chat channel. That's the power of word of mouth. It's immense. And the established politicians do not know and they do not understand how to harvest this. They're stuck in their press conference, in their flyers on the street thinking, well, we do know how to harvest it. We do understand this. We don't need everybody to agree with us. In fact, it's much better to provoke people and get known than it is to be moderate and not be known by anybody. Our key enemy is not that people don't agree with us. It's that they don't know what we stand for and that they don't know about us. 90% can hate us and we still win. In fact, 95% can hate us in Sweden and we still win. We need 1 vote in 20, less than 1 vote in 20. That's a big difference from the established parties. The narrow platform makes us capable of real change. I'll return to that in a minute, but it means we are aiming for a tiebreaker position. It means, at least in Sweden, we're aiming to hold the balance of power. Every national party must establish their own roadmap to real change. But in Sweden, this is a very real catalyst for actually getting your issues through.